Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a real production migration we carried out on Zero-1 Cloud, moving completely away from Nginx Ingress controller to the Kubernetes Gateway API. This isn't a tutorial built on a sample app. We performed this migration on our service cluster, handling both development and production traffic, so it required careful planning to avoid downtime or service disruption. Let's get into it. So first, why did we do this at all? Nginx Ingress controller reached end of life in March 2026. As you can see here, the project officially announced it will no longer receive security patches or updates. For a cloud platform like Zero-1 Cloud, staying on a deprecated controller simply wasn't an option, especially in a cluster where dev and production workloads coexist. And when you look at the architectural difference, it becomes clear why Gateway API is the right direction. With Nginx Ingress, everything is centralized. One controller, one resource type, limited role separation. It works, but it wasn't built for modern multi-tenant infrastructure. Gateway API changes that fundamentally. You have a clear separation between the infrastructure owner who manages the gateway class and gateway, and the application team who manages HTTP routes. It's more expressive, more secure, and purpose-built for how teams actually work today. Now, Gateway API is a specification, not an implementation. You still need a controller that implements it, and there are several strong options out there. We evaluated 4: Traefik, Istio, Envoy Gateway, and Agent Gateway. Traefik is lightweight and developer-friendly, great for smaller setups. Istio is powerful but brings a lot of complexity with its full service mesh. Agent Gateway was still in alpha at the time of our evaluation. We chose Envoy Gateway, and here's why. It passed full Gateway API core conformance testing. It has native WebSocket support, clean TLS termination, strong cross-namespace routing, and it integrates cleanly with our existing OVH load balancer. Strong community backing from the Envoy project also gave us confidence in its long-term support. It was the right balance of maturity, features, and simplicity for our infrastructure. Before touching production, we ran a proof of concept. One tool that can make this migration easier is ingress-to-gateway. It's a Kubernetes SIG tool that helps translate existing Ingress resources and some provider-specific CRDs into Gateway API manifests. It has two main components: providers, which read and normalize your Ingress resources into an intermediate representation, and emitters, which generate the final Gateway API YAML, like gateways, HTTP routes, and reference grants. That said, using ingress-to-gateway isn't mandatory. It's primarily a helper for generating manifests quickly. Some provider-specific annotations or CRDs may not be fully supported, so it's still important to review and tweak the output. For our migration, we used it to convert most of the Ingress resources automatically. The only things to watch out for are ingresses using path type, implementation-specific, need to be updated to prefix. Cross-namespace TLS references require a reference grant, or the gateway won't be able to load the certificate. Once those considerations are handled, the tool can produce clean Gateway API manifests, but the migration itself doesn't depend on it. It's just a productivity aid. Once validated, we deployed to our dev environment first. Here you can see all the old Nginx Ingress resources: admin, API, docs, status, terminal, console, all live and pointing to the old Nginx load balancer IP. And here, the new state: all HTTP routes deployed across namespaces, the Envoy Gateway programmed and running, Gateway class accepted, and the reference grant in place. One thing worth noting: we didn't deploy a separate gateway for production. The same service gateway running an Envoy Gateway system serves both dev and production traffic simultaneously. The separation happens at the HTTP route level. Dev routes live in the Zero-1 Cloud namespace. Production routes live in Zero-1 Cloud stable. Both namespaces attach their routes to the same gateway using parent refs, and the gateway's allowed routes is set to from all, so it accepts routes from any namespace. This is actually one of the strengths of the Gateway API. A single gateway, one load balancer IP, serving multiple environments. The reference grant we applied earlier grants the gateway access to TLS secrets across namespaces, so both dev and prod certs are resolved from the same place. The cutover for production was purely a DNS change, not a new gateway, not a new load balancer, not a new controller. Just pointing the production DNS records at the IP that was already serving dev traffic successfully. So that's the complete migration story, from a deprecated Nginx Ingress controller to a production-grade Kubernetes Gateway API setup across multiple clusters with zero downtime. If your team is still running Nginx Ingress, the clock is ticking. The tools are mature, the path is clear, and we've already done it, so you don't have to figure it out from scratch. If you want to adopt something similar or need help with your own migration, reach out to us.